Get it on there, bub.
Perfect.
Grind a little more. If you got any fingers left.
I see the Harbor Freight grinder. Got a Band-Aid. All right, welcome back to CNC Equipment's YouTube channel. Are we gonna get this truck finished in this video?
Maybe.
You guys have not seen, there's a whole playlist on this thing down below in the description. You click on it, it will bring you up to speed on this 1977 Ford Highboy, right?
That's right.
Quick little overview. It's a Wyoming truck, pretty rust free. It had the 351 modified in it. It was getting pretty weak and tired, so we built a 460 up that actually come out of this shop truck a while back. You guys been following my videos, you know what I'm talking about. But we built it up. You can go back a couple videos and check it out. But last video we left off, we got the motor and stuff in there, got the headers in it. Where are we at now? It's your truck.
Yeah.
You don't know what we're doing today?
No, I was looking at something else. Sorry.
You gotta tell these people what we're doing.
Put a fuel tank in. Got exhaust.
Next goal for today is the fuel tank first.
Fuel tank.
And then we're gonna work on the exhaust. Get all that stuff routed before we do all the fuel lines and all that stuff. So, and we got a brake booster situation we gotta figure out. We think we got it figured out. If you guys remember the last video, we originally had 11-inch brake booster here and it actually was hitting the valve cover a little bit. So, did a little reading on the internet. We may have the part we need right outside.
Maybe.
We'll go check that out here after a bit. So, but let's get her up in the air. We'll lift her up, and maybe we'll get Mr. Kevin or somebody to help us stick that big monstrous tank in. So we built a custom fuel cell for this thing. This truck originally has the rear tank in it that's behind the seat. So we're going to do away with that. We're going fuel injection on this motor. So a few videos back, Tucker Custom, we built this tank up. He TIG welded all up. You guys can see we got our fuel pump and stuff in there. But yeah, we're going poly EFI fuel injection. We'll be putting that on a little bit later in this video. So hopefully by the end of this video, this thing's running. If you did everything right, so.
I think I did everything right.
You think? You're gonna find out. So Hunter's got what, about 6-7 more days before we go back to school. So we're gonna try to get this thing running and driving, hopefully. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff. The little stuff takes forever. So. We got the motor dropped in there in like 15 minutes, and
yeah, it's probably the quickest thing in the whole truck.
we got to wire and plumb and do all that other stuff. So, all right. So we had to build a fuel tank because these Highboys have a narrow, weird frame width. It's pretty much straight all the way back. We'll get a light up under here so you guys can see. But built that fuel cell. It bolts up right in here. We got some plates up here with some studs already in them. It's going to help hold that fuel tank up there. Looks like Hunter's got nuts and stuff up there. You got a light and some tools, and we'll grab Kevin or somebody.
Is that clear? Oh,
You want to get all this stuff out there? On the spring right there. You get this side tight, Bubby?
yeah. I need to check it probably.
We got room to get our filler hose on up there. And we got this big old spaghetti mess up here. What do you think?
A lot of hoses, bub. Do you even know where these go?
No, we got them marked though.
They go somewhere.
Where are you gonna run these big exhaust pipes at? There's like
Right
shocks
here.
in the way.
Out the fenders.
Can we take these shocks out of here?
No.
Tucker does not like those shocks because they're yellow.
Get 2 more.
There's always
We
that
should
one
put
person.
some yellow ones on his truck while he's done.
Oh.
Or tape them yellow or something.
No, we'll paint them.
Alright. We're gonna have to get sneaky with the exhaust. Probably come in here and we're gonna run the exhaust next. That sound fun? Hunter, I think you probably should go get that brake booster though, because Kevin's gonna paint some black. He's gonna be a nice enough guy to
Kevin's painting?
Restore it.
to paint some black stuff on a bulldozer.
Only because you're building your truck right now, but you can go back to being a painter afterwards.
Maybe we should go out there and pull that booster off and get it, make sure it fits, and then he can get it painted too. How's that sound? Perfect. Alright, so since I have all these 86 Fords out here, supposedly a brake booster off an 85 to 86 Ford diesel works. Mr. Hunter, what are you doing?
Can I take brake booster off?
Loving life in here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, there's a pocket knife in that.
Yeah, I saw that.
So here's the brake booster. It's smaller in diameter. So the one on his truck is 11 inches right now. I think these are 8.5. So we've seen where these might possibly work on the internet. We'll get that one off and see. Your mom's gonna be so happy that we're using parts off these trucks.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
Well, it looks like you got her, Bubby. This is the one out of the diesel. This is the one out of the Highboy. You guys can see the size difference. Bolt pattern's not looking the same, is it? Let's do some figuring here and see what's up with them. Alright, we been on Summit Racing. I think we may have found a kind of a universal booster that will work. We ordered it. The only thing is the bolt holes are off an 1/8 inch one way, but I think we can slot this. We got plenty of room off. It has a 3.5 by 3.5 inch pattern, where this has a 3.5 by 3 3/4. But we've got plenty of room here to come up an 1/8 inch. We can do each hole a little bit, so I don't think that's going to be an issue on that. I think we can make that work. So anyway, it's all the little details. We're going to get this truck lifted up here. I've got a whole bunch of exhaust pipe tubing out there. We're going to start working on it.
Okay. Got you.
Alright, so we're cutting a couple new header flanges out. They gave us a couple collectors there for 2.5 inch pipe, and somebody wants 3 inch pipe, so
Try to let the horsepower out.
I think it's overkill, but we're cutting some out of 3/8 plate. You guys can see our brand new fast cut CNC tables buzzing stuff out and very nice. So you ready to go there?
Do we want to slow the feed rate down?
You could a little bit, but this one fit. Slow it down to 40 there.
Alright.
What Hunter's talking about is there are holes you get going too fast, it'll taper, but this one did fit fine. So
Run?
yep, let her rip. You zeroed it right.
Yeah.
We got our collector flanges bolted on there. Kind of temporary, you guys see those there. So we've got a whole bunch of pipe here. Hunter's already cutting a piece on our new solver we got. You guys may have seen this in the last video or so. You know what they say?
What?
Measure twice and cut once.
I think we measured once.
Let her rip, Tater Chip. Money. Did he burn you yet? Not my paint. You get her? Tack that other joint right there. Okay, how'd you do?
Good enough to hold it.
Want a good Tack Master 5000?
That's what I'm used to.
Okay. Might get one of those yellow stands right there so we can put this pipe on. Skevin's arm's getting all jellified.
Watch out.
What are we doing under here? Getting some snakes around?
Running nothing but restriction pipes.
Whatever, Kevin.
Well, I think we could have went with 2.5 inch pipe.
Oh. Tell you, bub, you got all those horsies under the non-existent hood right now.
That's what you're thinking. We're gonna put a little chrome tip on there, right?
That's right.
Okay.
It's a
Now,
5-inch dumpster on it.
we just gotta weld it in some places and clamp it in others and mount it, and then you gotta make the other side match.
Whatever, Kevin. You can't weld crap.
Ooh. What are you doing out here on your tip, Bubby?
Sticking her way outside.
Alright, we got that side all in there. It's all welded up. Hunter did a little bit of TIG welding. I helped him some on it too, so it's not perfect,
I
is it?
can't do crap.
You're only gonna learn one way. We still gotta put hangers in there. Like I said, we got our Flowmaster. This is what, a Series 50?
Yeah.
50 series Flowmaster muffler. We got 3-inch pipe all the way back from the header. There's a collector we made. I actually welded it up from the inside. I just put some weld on the outside, so it's welded solid. But go over seam. Something else we did here too. Went ahead and put our O2 sensor in there for our EFI. Got that bung welded in there. We'll take that wire up above later on. But reason we got this side all up and done, we're going to try to make the other side match it. So looking good, looking good. We got her bent up over the axle. Up around there. I'll pull that brake line over a little bit, but all in all, I think it'd be good. All right, we're getting busy here working. We've got all the pieces for the other side, the passenger side of the truck, all welded up, ready to go on. We got this side all on here, hangers and everything. So we got the other side to match. So while that's all cooling, Hunter got some parts from some racing, didn't you?
That's right.
We got that brake booster. It's kind of a universal fit. I'm assuming it probably fits a Chevy. So the only issue was the master cylinder width, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what, 3 3/8?
Yeah.
So
this is smaller.
yeah, that's smaller. We're gonna set that up on the mill, I think, and oval these holes. Maybe drop an end mill in here. These got to come over about an 1/8 inch or so, 3/32.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got plenty of meat here. We should be fine. And that way to match this, the back is pretty close to. We can just take a little die grinder and tweak it on the truck. So this is a dual diaphragm master cylinder or brake booster.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know exactly how this works, but dual diaphragm probably means twice the power.
That's right, bud.
That's why it can be smaller, if I'm thinking it right. Our big one was 11 inches, so that's definitely going to clear your valve covers for sure. So, all right, we're going to throw that in the mill and make that a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who's on your phone?
I was calculating.
Oh, you're calculating. Is
Which way to go?
that half of?
3.375.
All right, so we dropped this end mill down here, centered up on this piston right here. We're going to move 1.6875.
Yeah.
I was accusing
Nobody's
him.
on my phone.
I was accusing him of texting. So you've got to crank this dial that far. We got to take this out and put a 3/8 end mill in there. So you're going to crank this over. There's only 200 thousandths in each revolution. So let's get our other 3/8 bit put in there first, and we'll drop down a little bit and you can crank it over. All right, so you got to crank that over. You're going to count. There's 200 on each one, so you got to crank that. What I'll do, I'll crank it Count each 200. I'll do this one, you can do the next.
That'd be
There's 200,
5, 8 times.
400,
I think you do 8 times.
600, 800. There's 1 inch. 1.200. 1.400. 1.600. Where are we going to?
8,750. I think.
687.
8.
Okay, we're gonna go to 87 and a half here. 85, 6, 7 and a half, and we'll lock our table down. All right, there you can kind of see we're cranked over. Hunter's super sweet number.
That's right.
1.875. That's right. So make sure that's all centered up. We'll fire this dude up. Oh, you gotta turn on our 3-phase power, Bubby.
Dang.
There you gotta go over 3 3/8.
Okay.
Now, hang on, we gotta crank the backlash out of this thing. So we got play in there. So we'll crank that. You wanna set this at 0? And then you can go over 375. So you don't take that backlash out, then you're gonna be off. Okay, there you go. Let's take the lock off. Alright, you ready to see if it fits?
I hope so. I hope it fits.
Oh yeah, look at that.
All day, bub.
Customized. You got Ford and Chevy Universal parts. I'm not sure what you got there. All right, I know you're gonna get that painted.
Yep.
Actually, while I was TIG welding, Hunter practiced TIG welding yesterday, but
That didn't go so hot.
it's not the perfect thing to be learning on is the exhaust pipe. Anyway, while I was TIG welding, he collected a bunch of parts off our Ford junkyard out there. You got a toolkit down here?
Well, I didn't feel like making a bunch of trips, so I just...
So as I said earlier, their fuel tank is behind the seat right now. We put our other fuel tank in here. He was gathering up a fuel filler neck and some stuff off our OBS's right here. It's got that. It's got our vent line in there. You're going to get that sandblasted and you can paint all that.
Okay.
Take that tape off, yeah.
Okay.
And you're going to paint this with some good engine enamel. So gonna get that painted up so it'll be dry and ready for later on. And we're going to get to putting this exhaust on since it's cool now. We'll get it all on there. Then our next step is, I know it's dark under here, it's hard for you guys to see, it's kind of boring stuff too. You guys let me know if you want to see more stuff. I don't know what you want to see, but we're going to route some fuel lines, sending unit wires and stuff like that. So you guys like seeing that stuff, let me know. If not, I'm not going to show it in this video. Maybe next time we can do a little more in-depth on that, but we're going to get all it done, drop the truck down and do some more fun stuff up here. Alright, got all the exhaust on. We're putting the fuel filler neck hose in right now. We got a couple vent lines running up here too. We got a reproduced plastic little, what do you call that?
Thingy. I don't know.
So we've got the fuel filler door. The original one was on there. I think the reason why I said we got a fuel tank behind the cab, these later Highboys had a fuel door in them. I think the reason is they were running out of regular Highboy beds that had no gas tank doors on them, so they just started using whatever they had in the last couple years. Somebody may know more about that than me, and they can drop that in the comments below, but I think that is why they had some of these beds with fuel doors on them for the Highboys. So somebody may know a lot more than I do about that, but we're getting her hooked up. Then we're going to drop her down on the ground. I got the fuel filter mounted up under the frame too for the fuel injection. I'm gonna wait until we get the fuel injection up here on the motor and kind of back run all my wires because they have some leads, see how far they go. And this fuel tank in the truck is still full of gas. It's probably 3/4 the way full. So my plan is maybe tap into it here or something, maybe put a fuel pump on it, pump it right back into that fuel tank. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan, bub.
Sounds like a plan. Do you tighten these up?
Oh, right.
Hey, you want me to hold your hand?
Wait.
You want me to get a glove? You tighten these bolts up, then tighten all your hose clamps up, and we can set her down.
You tighten those bolts up? Get it on there, bub.
Perfect. Alright, we got that to fit on the truck fine, so we're going to get a measurement. This is a rod out of the old one. We're going to get a measurement from here to here, and kind of got like universal, dropping stuff, universal kit. Do we have an eyelet like this, or are we going to have to, yeah, got the same size pin here?
It came with a pin too.
Yep.
Perfect, bub.
See if that fits up in your truck. It should just fine. It's even got a longer one here too. So yeah, we'll get that length the same. Then we got to figure out the master cylinder situation. We've got the master cylinder drilled for that. We just got to get the push rod the right length. So I think it's going to work here. All right, we think we got it. We got our rod on there about the right length. We took a what was that, 6mm bolt. Put on there, we rounded the head because it needed an inch of stick out length for the master cylinder. We test fitted it, so we should be good.
Should be.
Cross your fingers it works. We'll put this on. We probably need to bench bleed that master cylinder, and then we can stick it on the truck. Alright, got the master cylinder and everything on there. We got brake fluid in it. We did not bleed the master cylinder out.
Got some suction though.
We got a new snap-on guy showed up yesterday. I bought a vacuum bleeder. It's been working pretty good. We pulled vacuum on that side on that caliper already, so we'll try this side here. It's a pretty simple operation. Let's put this on here and pull a little vacuum. I'm gonna open this up. You should see some air bubbles coming out of there. We're going down over there, Hunter.
Yep.
So we'll keep doing that till air bubbles quit coming through. Just topping her off over there. Hopefully that bleeds her out. Alright, we think we got her. Didn't make a mess anywhere. The old snap-on bleeder works pretty well. It wasn't too terribly expensive. There's the part number, BB9018. Just throwed it on the floor, didn't you?
Well,
Also got, we can put that in the box. Also got this, we didn't use it. It's automatic brake refiller, so it's a one-man operation. It just clips on the side of the master cylinder and basically just refills it, but it's a BB502A, so you need to dump that brake fluid out of there, Hunter. Get rid of that.
Can you reuse it?
No, we don't want to. No. What's it look like?
Looks clean.
Mostly clean. Ought to be, everything's brand new. So I think we got the brakes fixed. That's good. The pedal feels pretty good. It's stiff right now because we don't have any vacuum assist. So that's the wrap here for today for us. You're busy tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah.
So probably back, today's Tuesday, probably back Thursday. This is day 2 on this video so far, so we'll be back. Alright, back on the project. Day 2.5, right? Are you still tightening that up? Hey, by the way, I ordered you a fuel tank door last night.
Oh yeah?
So I guess the door plate,
Uh-huh.
that's just a dummy door they put in there. The actual ones have the hinge and everything on it, so we can't use that door. So the new door is coming black primer, so I don't know what you're doing about the color.
Stupid Ford.
Stupid Fords. Really? Is that what you just said? People are laughing at you. Alright, so while you're gone, we got the core support on and we put in this radiator. The reason is we need to measure for radiator hoses. Get those coming, so I think I found a couple. You look tired. So this has come from Summit Racing. It actually bolted right up and everything. It fits pretty well. So we did test fit the shroud fits. The stock fan off the 351 modified fits. So we're good there. So me and Kevin's been tinkering. We got this rubber seal on here. We're putting all the stuff on our firewall, trying to get the little nooks and crannies. We get the plug wires and stuff on it. He's working on a heater hose fitting over there right now. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on, aren't we?
That's right.
Alright, been doing little odds and ends that take forever. I got the Holly Sniper sitting on there. I got all the plug wires on. I did retape up the original harness. It's in pretty good shape, just dirty looking. So we're getting close to putting these inner fenders in because a lot of stuff mounts to it, like the starter solenoid. We got new alternator, regulator, solenoid there. So we're running all of our wires up, stuff like from our starter. Got a ground cable on here from the engine to the frame. We'll bring the other one from the battery down to here. Kevin and the guys are, Kevin and Hunter are making battery cables. And look, Napa just showed up with more parts.
Napa know-how.
How's it going there, bub?
Oh, we need to turn off the fan. The battery-powered heat gun's just not getting it.
Oh, we'll see what the Napa guy brought us. Napa guy brought us a couple hoses. So I had a couple in stock. Oh, this one's looking real good right here. We got a 2-inch both ways. We got this one here. I think that first one's gonna work, so we'll probably send that one back to Napa. Put that one on there. I think that was off a Dodge Ram, believe it or not. And factory one should be showing up. It's gonna work for the top one, so we're getting there. Alright, we're getting close. We're putting pulleys on, test fit and stuff. We got all the fuel lines plumbed. That stuff's gotta go in more. Maybe.
Which one?
What is it?
I don't know, it's not too far. I think this bracket's crooked a little bit.
Well, we don't have it all the way tight yet either.
Oh, yeah. It's just sitting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we're trying to get some belt links and stuff here for the end of the day, but we got all of our fuel lines on. I think we got all the electrical ran. You guys are watching some of that in time lapse. We put our ignition box over here in the cool, and Hunter's got this super nice
Hey, but it's temporary.
cool wire going over here. I don't know if that's... think it's making connection. You need to cut that boot off.
Yeah.
I think you need to cut that
Trim
down
it.
a little bit.
Trim it.
Anyway, we gotta get a longer coil wire, but we're getting close to firing up. I did get the Holly Sniper turned on. Got it. Got a little screen in here. Got it programmed. Just some simple, easy steps. You put in your engine displacement, your idle speed, and your wide open timing, and just a couple parameters, and it self-learns after that. So
Jacker knife or something?
side cuts is fine. Well, we're getting close. Had all hands on deck. Well, we're gonna try to start this thing, and then if it runs, we'll put coolant and fan and all that stuff on it later.
I think it's
Like a glove?
Is it brand new now?
Yeah. Just don't look at it.
Just need to take it
See,
over
look,
the
it even has that factory bender in the valve cover, bro.
Huh.
More did you ask for?
We probably ought to try to see if she'll fire up, huh?
That's right.
Get that tape off there. Not my toes.
I'm not the one that picked up. Hey,
At least we wear.
I don't know what you're talking about.
we sent guys home for less than that.
So, are we ready?
Bump her up like 38 things.
See what it does?
Choke, bub.
I bet it ain't gonna start. There's a lot of wires to hook up.
It'll hit the second one.
No,
Make sure it's in neutral. Isn't that what it does? Does it sputter the first time?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
no fuel or nothing.
No, you don't need to give it fuel.
Ready?
Yeah, make sure it fires up. Watch for oil pressure on your truck gauges. I'm just gonna run it for a few seconds if it starts. Uh-oh. Nothing?
Locked up.
Locked up. Is that battery hot? It was only showing 11 volts in the thingy.
Turn on that firewall like I told you.
We need a battery charge. Try it again. Let's get the battery charger out, Bubby.
Thank you.
We grounded the fender out. We tightened the bolts up. Got a little battery charger on here. Yep. It's not happy. Think the starter's grounded? Well, it's the next day. All we heard was clicky click click.
She's already locked up, bub. She didn't even run. She's locked up.
So we messed with this thing after you guys seen the last clip for another hour or so. She is locked up tighter than Fort Knox, ain't she?
That's right.
Hunter had to go back to school today. He'll be here later this afternoon, but yeah, the motor's locked up. It will not turn whatsoever. So we're not sure. We think we know where it's at. We did a whole bunch of stuff. Went back and watched videos because we had this thing turning over because Hunter set the valves, all that stuff. The only thing I've done after we turned the engine over by hand the last time, I dropped that distributor in there. Pretty sure that's not it because it fell in perfectly. Even if it was not right, it would have sheared that gear off by now because we've been cranking on it. You guys seen us hitting with the starter half a dozen times, but it will not move whatsoever. We pulled the spark plugs out, checking stuff. It still will not turn. We know the motor turned freely. I don't think there's anything that could have happened up here. I mean, we've been double, triple checking. We pulled the top back off the transmission again, make sure we didn't have anything locked up in there. Hunter was able to push the clutch in and I could spin the input shaft that goes into the, you know, clutch and the back of the transmission, or back of the flywheel. I could spin it by hand super easy, so nothing binding up there. The only thing we can think of, and we had a scope up in there, bore scope, is that the flex plate, or not the flex plate, but the pressure plate or something like that is hitting that bell housing. So that's about over. We got a bolt running too far. I did check with the bolts when we put the bolts in through the flywheel that they wasn't bottoming out in the block, the ones that go through the crank pulley, so, or crank flange, but I don't know. We're about out of options, aren't we?
It's somewhere back there.
It's got to be something back here. And the thing we bought all the L&L stuff that's supposed to fit and work right, but who knows? I probably got some weird.
There's probably that piece of paper that we threw away that said, don't use the original bolt or something.
There is some stuff you read online when the guys are using these 351 bell housings that sometimes you have to space them with 2 of those steel starter plate spacers, but being it's L&L stuff, I assumed that we wouldn't have no issues. So they say we don't need anything, but the only thing we got left to do here is pull the training out, I guess, at this point, and see what's going on there. So we're going to get her lifted up. Hunter's supposed to be back here later on. We're trying to get this thing done, so we're going to help him out a little bit and get that pulled apart. But we'll wait and try to start it once he gets here, if we figure out the problem back here. So if it just needs another spacer or something, we'll cut another thicker spacer on the plasma table or something like that. So, but anyway, we're going to get this dude up in the air. We'll get that transmission unbolted and bring you guys back in. All right, we're up under here. Still doesn't turn, does it?
No.
I got my hand up in there, but it's kind of getting tied over by the starter area. It's got plenty of room on the top where I thought it might have been hitting. I don't know. I guess we'll go ahead and, I wonder if the motor will tilt down a little bit when you get to some of these bolts.
Can only hope.
We'll loosen them up a little bit, and then if she pops loose. When we put this together, it went together like butter, but who knows? It could be just barely touching. We're running out of options for sure.
That's right.
All right, we found our situation, didn't we?
Found it. That's right, Bob.
We've got clearance issues.
Clearance.
Kevin spotted. You guys see these little? I thought they were machine marks. Apparently, that's our ring gear teeth on our flywheel, where the starter drives.
Barely touching.
Barely touching.
Barely.
Barely enough to lock it up.
Yeah.
Barely enough. It don't take much. The issue is this is not very thick right here, and I don't think we should. I mean,
You don't think we should party?
that's not real thick here though.
There's already 2 holes. Why not make a couple more?
We got 2 options. We can grind that, or we can make a thicker plate. So
You gotta take the firewall off and make a thicker plate, don't you?
I do. That's got plenty of meat over here. Who needs all those teeth on the back side of the ring gear anyway, right? I'll show you guys where it's hidden. Though it's hitting right here in the corners of these teeth right there. Mm-hmm.
Can't make that flywheel stick back in there any further.
No. Who knows? I don't know. Only thing we could do is,
Spacer that out.
I mean, that's only sick. You could cut a piece of 1/8 inch or something, make something. I seen some guys that had to double some up, but supposedly with the L&L stuff you didn't have to. But I always have something weird. Different crank designs can dictate that too. And we're using a newer motor too. We'll figure something out here.
I think you can grind a little more. If you got any fingers left.
I see the Harbor Freight grinder. Got a Band-Aid, but we got it clearanced. Clearance.
Ain't good sanding the wheel.
Does that look factory or what?
Yeah, let's stick
It
to
is
it.
now.
See what she does.
Good luck with that. I don't know how it come out of there.
Oh, you gotta birth it right in the motor.
I think she'll be fine. That's annoying. He's got a Jake brake.
We hate people.
Get her, Bubby! He ain't got no muffler. Oh, that's one little Cummins is. Alright, got the transmission in there. We're waiting on Hunter. Should be here in a little bit so we can try to start this thing up again. So me and Uncle Scott's been busy. We got belts on there. We got a shroud on there. He's putting the upper radiator hose in. We're actually going to pull a vacuum on this coolant system before we put coolant in it. It's going to do two things. It's going to see if we got a leak anywhere, and it's going to allow us to suck all that antifreeze back in there and hopefully have no air bubbles in there, right, Uncle Scott?
That's right.
And so we're going to work on that here next. But yeah, she's looking good. Hopefully she runs. We're hoping so, because we done put it all together up here. We're trying to put a 351 modified radiator hose onto a 460, but it's fitting, isn't it?
Somebody give me some.
I got you a nut driver right there.
Nut driver.
Cut it too short, didn't you? What's Hunter gonna say? He's gonna see this on camera when he watches this. And then he'll come beat you up.
That's alright.
You know he's getting big enough to do that, right?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll be back when he shows up. Hopefully it starts. Alright, I was gonna show you guys this vacuum sucker. It's pretty cool. It should flatten all the hoses down. You ready to turn around, Bubby?
Yep.
You guys watch this radiator hose. And it actually should collapse. There she goes. It's even sucking the heater hoses here flat. Well, that's going to pull a vacuum. It's kind of like doing an air conditioner system. It's going to pull a vacuum on it. We'll check and make sure we don't have any leaks. As long as that needle stays there, then we'll suck the coolant back in through this hose.
I want to hear it. You should have seen yourself yesterday.
What are you wearing today?
It's 3 o'clock. I just show up for like 30 minutes in Crocs, and then it's a big deal.
Me and Kevin and Uncle Scott's been thrashing away here. Thrashing. But we've not started it.
That's the only reason I show up for work.
We took the transmission out. I ground my finger in two.
Not
We
my
put
finger.
the transmission back on.
Wasn't mine either. I didn't feel a thing.
I bet you did.
We got your belts on. We had to get a longer one for the alternator. We got your
Reason
shroud
to go to
on.
lunch. Got a belt.
We got a belt. We put how many gallons of antifreeze in it?
Oh, 5.5.
5.5 gallons.
We pulled the vacuum on it.
She's thirsty.
So we've got power steering. I got it topped off right now, but if it starts, we need to crank the tires back and forth a couple times and get that dude top back off.
Do you tighten those plugs back up over there? Or 3 plugs you took out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can't let it idle too long, so we got to break in the camshaft. So once we get all the oil in there, we'll have to run it at 2,000 RPM for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Are you ready to fire it up?
Is it gonna run?
I hope so.
We better. We've been waiting all day on you. You can pause the battery cable's loose, so if something happens, we can take it off.
Okay.
You need to watch for your oil pressure
Okay.
on your gauge.
Question.
No, it's in neutral, I believe. See if this lights up. I'll watch the leaks. Got it neutral? Fire up. Easy, buddy. Go the other way. I heard her running out of oil. What do you think? Huh?
I'm happy it runs.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did take a little while to figure itself out.
Oh, the
mapping.
Yeah. Pull that off and check your dipstick here, and we'll get that topped off.
You're on, bub.
She runs. Are you gonna smile, Hunter? There we go. There, are you gonna smile now? I know this thing's got to be thirsty. She's dry.
She empty.
You what?
Yeah, you got much fuel in it.
Yeah, it's got quite a bit in it. So Hunter's gonna start this thing up. Once it gets oil pressure, hold it about 2,000 RPM for about 15 minutes or so. So about 355. We gotta keep an eye on our temperatures and stuff. You got temperatures on there? What's it reading? 105?
Yeah.
Thinks it's hot. You ready? Oil pressure. Temperature coming up.
Yeah, it's smoking down there.
Now that's burning paint off the headers. How's your temperature? Go ahead and get some air going through it. How we doing, buddy? 190. Looks good.
You got a lot more power than she had. Oh yeah, about like 500%.
Looks good. Well, she all went well, except for a little oil leak. We've got a rear main seal leaking, unfortunately. I have no idea why. I'll have to drop the oil pan or something and figure that out. But all in all, she drives pretty good. What do you think, bud?
I think it's great.
It's definitely got a lot more power. Yeah, it's pretty rowdy.
Was
Pretty.
that part of the break-in or?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
it's kind of touchy on the throttle. Well, we're back at it this morning, aren't we?
That's right.
So we took the oil pan off this dude. We left you guys yesterday. We had what we call a rear main seal leaking. That's basically the seal that goes around the rear main bearing right here at the back. So it was pouring out oil for whatever reason. We did drive it some to get the motor broken and stuff. So we're probably got what, 30 minutes on it or so? I'd say at least.
At least, yeah.
We wanted to run it as long as we could with that break-in oil in it. But so we got the rear main off. This is what the seal looks like. They're in 2 halves. We put it in right and everything, but got the reading. We used Felpro gasket kit, and they don't say anything about this, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet. If you read on these 460s about this protrusion link here, you guys can see I've got this side flush right here. Get that push it. I've got this side flush over here, and what they're talking about is this stick out link right here. It's kind of bumping up on me, but you guess we're only supposed to have like 10 to 15 thousandths on each half, so it gives you a total of 20 to 30 thousandths crush. So if you get too much on that length, what happens, it's gonna kind of oval that rear main seal out. And the other issue is too, we didn't put any silicone down here in this groove, so I guess that's a good idea. It even says on this sheet. We didn't read that, did we?
Yeah.
So yeah, it says apply RTV sealer to the outside edges of the cap and recess of block. So we should have put RTV down in there. That probably would have helped seal that up. You feel how hard that is on the back side right there? There's no way that would seal up. So I'd say that was probably one of our biggest problems. The issue is we've got to get RTV up around the crank, up around there. So I think what we're going to have to do is put it on the back side of the seal and spin it in. I don't know any other way to do it. Do you? I hope that it seals up. That's that groove they're talking about. So we're going to get the new seals in there. We'll get the stick out height right on there. So, but it's always something. The oil pan did come off very easy. So we got a new oil pan seal there. Napa brought that stuff down here already this morning. So we'll get that back up in there and hopefully it doesn't leak. Fingers crossed. That's what it was. Then we got to put the rest of the truck together. So, but all went well on the test drive for sure yesterday. Also did want to point out, we did have these seals offset. I know somebody's going to say that in the comments, but we did offset these about 3/8 of an inch so this crack wasn't lined up here. So I also read it's a good idea to put a little bit of silicone on this mating surface here to stop any oil coming out that way. So we're going to try all those tips and tricks, and hopefully it works here. All right, Bubby, what are we doing?
Taking her back apart, bub.
So we put the oil pan back on it, the rear main seal. Let all that dry. We finished the whole interior. Had it all looking nice. New rubber seals, trim, shifter boots all in there.
Yeah.
Done, right?
Yeah.
Went to lunch. Come back, put oil in it. After the silicone's all dry, fired her up. What happened?
Leaking again.
Still leaking. So, I don't think it's coming from the rear main seal like we first thought. It's coming from farther up. So, there's 3 places it could leak from on the back of that motor up there. There's 2 oil galley plugs, and then there's a freeze plug, 2-inch freeze plug at the end of the camshaft. So, we're getting ready to yank this off here, aren't we? Just like that. We'll get it out of there, and we're going to lift her up in the air again. And we'll get the transmission dropped out at bell housing. We'll pull the clutch off of it. Go through all that again. It's going to be a great time. We'll bring you guys back in when we get to the back of the motor again. That one a little loose?
Just a touch.
It wasn't tight, was it? What's the
Check
dealio
it.
there?
Check.
Well, we need to pull it out and put sealant on it. So we got everything off here. Yeah, that one don't seem right, Hunter. At all. The oil's definitely coming from up here. I don't know. It's a plug. Well, we're gonna try to figure it out. Pull everything out and reseal it again. We got oil coming out of there. We got something to catch at, Hunter?
Thread's messed up.
No, I mean there's some sealant on it.
I just didn't know if the threads were, or is the wrong thread.
No. Look alright. I think we need to pull three of those out, reseal them, and let it set overnight, and then we'll
Are we gonna pull that freeze plug?
we can get the freeze plug out there.
Huh?
I just don't trust it at this point. I don't think, I mean, it looked like in the video it's sticking out at the bottom. It's like flush at the bottom, maybe in at the top of fuzz, but it's hard to tell. Are you gonna be all right? Now what'd you do? Hit the transmission? So I guess we're going to reseal that and try it again. I don't really know. This one plug wouldn't killer tight. It don't look like it had, definitely had sealant on it. Well, no, it's kind of a weird situation. But that was our oil leak. It wasn't the rear main. So the rear main seal we replaced went around the crankshaft right here. In fact, that's some of the silicone I put in the corners earlier today. Fun times. Alright, it's the next day here. We gave up yesterday. I want to take a little break, but did put a new freeze plug on the end of this camshaft. I know that was not the problem. I'll show you guys why in a second, but we got the two plugs. I went ahead and, you know, yesterday we showed putting these in. I took these back out and I'll show you why here. Did a little research last night, and I just want to let you guys know that there is a difference between the oil galley plugs from the front of the motor to the rear of the motor. This is what we had sticking in the back. You guys see it's got a little point on it. What's supposed to be in the back is these flat ones right here. So the reason these have a point on them, there's actually an oil hole, and I took note of this when I put the galley plugs in the front. There's actually an oil feed hole that comes up into the hole that this plugs. Well, I took a note when I put probably a flat plug in there. I did go back in the video and watch. I did put a flat plug in there, but anyway, I took notes that that flat plug was not going to block that hole off. I was aware of that oil hole coming up, but that's the reason they have these tapered on the end, to allow oil to go in that hole. The way our block was made and castings and stuff, we had plenty of depth and room. We know we were getting good oil pressure up to the engine because we did prime it, watched it come up through the lifters and push rods and all that, because that is a galley that we're working on. It's a lifter galley. So that being said, these are a little bit different thread. They're what they call a J thread. They're actually a straight thread. So that's why they was not sealing up in the back of the block. The back of the block has a 3/8 NPT thread, which is National Pipe thread. It's a tapered thread, so these have a slight taper to them, so they tighten up more as you tighten them up. So once I did a little research in that, I'm pretty sure that was our problem. So what's happening, those straight threads just kind of basically sealing on the last thread, and it's leaking and all that good stuff. So but when I use those in the front of the motor, it's all encased in oil. If they do leak, it's not a big deal. So anyway, we've got some tapered pipe plugs here, brass ones. We're going to put some sealant on those. You guys might notice that's sticking out there real far. Once we tighten these up, all we got to do is get below this surface of this deck right here, and we're golden. So it shouldn't matter on that. So we're going to get those put in there. Then we're going to get smart. We're just going to put the bell housing on and the starter. We'll have to put the flywheel and all that stuff on, but we're not going to put the transmission on. We're going to put the bell housing, flywheel, clutch, and stuff on. Then we're going to start it, right?
Yeah.
See if you got any leaks. If all's good, then we'll throw the transmission stuff back in it for the, how many time? Third time? Fourth time? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get it figured out here. Well, cross your fingers. You're going to fire up. I think we're going to fire it up, warm it up. We need to adjust the idle air control on this Holly. We got it pretty close the other day. We got to get it warmed up, but it's got to be up above 165, I think, or 160 to adjust that. But while that's warming up, we're going to see if we got any leaks. Transmission's still out of it, sitting there, so we just got the bell housing. And hey, your turn signal's on over here, Bubby. You put it in neutral?
That's right, bud.
You ain't got nothing, put it in neutral.
She's in neutral.
All right, try it. floor is dry. I think we got her, Hunter.
That's good.
We got her up to about 180. We got the idle air control adjusted. That's one thing you got to adjust on these Holley sniper fuel injections. You got to set that. It's in instructions. Basically, it's idle air control. It's supposed to be sitting between like 5 and 10%. We're sitting somewhere in that 6 or 7 neighborhood once she all settles down. So you got to do that once it's warm. But we run it for about 10 minutes there. Got her nice and warm. Have 0 leaks. We're going to start sticking this thing together. I feel pretty confident about it. So all that exhaust and stuff super hot now, so we're going to wait on that transmission. But we've got a ton of stuff to do. We're going to get that air cleaner on there for good. Probably start hanging some fenders and stuff. It's actually Sunday here right now, so I'm going to help Hunter get some of the bigger parts on, like the fenders. We'll get that transmission stuff in there. Then hopefully Monday he can wrap this thing up by himself, because we got a bunch of other stuff to work on in here. So it's got grills and bumpers, and you got a lot of stuff to put on, bub. Anyway, we're going to throw you guys up on time lapse. We're going to throw some music up here for us and you, and we'll catch you guys here in a little bit once it's all done, and we'll do a final walk around and an actual drive down the road for, we'll have turn signals and headlights this time, right?
Sure.
Hopefully. We'll see you guys back here in a minute. All right, Mr. Hunter's been cleaning up a mess, getting ready to get the rest of the front end. You guys seen us throwing those fenders and stuff on there in time lapse yesterday real quick. But this is the original grill. You guys might notice we got 2 of them. I had another one from another truck back a while ago, but the black in these headlight inserts is kind of faded out. So I think he's just going to use the original grill and paint those parts black again, aren't you? So you guys know these are stamped out of aluminum, and this thing is stained. I'm rubbing on this thing pretty hard. It's got that yellow stain on it. The guys from Super Clean sent us some product. I've honestly never used it before, but you know, guys know how aluminum stains. I'm gonna spray a little of this on here. Let it set for a little bit. Yeah, they sent us some Super Clean in the spray. I think we got some. That's an aerosol spray bottle. Then we got some wheel cleaner too. But you guys can get it at all these places here, all the major chain stores. But I was kind of impressed with it. Look how clean that gets. Just sitting there while we're talking. And I'm not even putting any pressure down, so it's a pretty big difference from that to that. Works pretty good, don't it? Yeah, go check them out. You guys need some of that. They sent us some stuff to try out, so it seems like it works pretty good. I'm guessing you're probably going to use that on the outside too, because it's got the same stains on it. So it's always best to test on a spot that doesn't show, but definitely brightened her up, nice and pretty. got its own playlist, Bubby.
Yeah.
We're sitting here trying to figure out how many days we've been working on just.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think this video is about 8 days. That's how long we spent just in this video. So you guys, we didn't want to bore you with the little stuff. You still got gas tank door. We got a parking lot that's not working. What else you got?
Window trim.
Window trim. Little odds and ends that we're not going to bore you with. It's going to take another 8 days of work, isn't it?
Footprint gas pedal, bub.
Footprint gas pedal. I don't think so. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he does.
You know what we're talking about?
Oh, it's a manual too. You can get the little baby clutch pedal.
We gotta get the one for the dimmer too.
Yeah, and the dimmer switch.
I'll have to show you sometime.
No.
You don't need them. Trust
Yes,
me.
you do.
No.
Anyway, we got her all together. Just need to drive it around, don't you? Get her learning right and running good. I think it turned out good. It's sitting good.
Sounds awesome.
That added leaf we put in the front of it leveled it up a little bit. Sounds good. It's got plenty of power, I'll tell you that.
It looks completely different.
Yeah, it looks very good. So hopefully you guys liked our little build series. There might be some more videos come on this, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the playlist of Ford Highboy stuff. And you guys have not seen any of the videos, you need to go back and check all those out. So I'll tell you, took it back here, washed the blue paint off the white letters. But she's looking good. Got the inside all done. I don't know if you guys seen that. Got it all wrapped up. We gotta clean it out, of course. So just so everybody knows, this truck's not for sale, right, Hunter?
No.
Everybody's gonna ask. It is not for sale. So it's Hunter's truck. He's gonna take it and drive it around a little more.
Yeah.
Needs some miles put on it, so fuel injection learns itself. So that's a self-learning system. The more you drive it, the better to get. So it's running pretty good now. So no oil leaks. Are there any oil leaks under it? Got those
I don't
fixed
wanna
finally?
look.
Don't want to look. About over it, huh? Anyway, we appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment below. And helps us out and helps you out too. So
Yeah, please watch the other videos.
yeah, as this was not a cheap build by no means, so I can tell you that. So, but it's definitely one of a kind truck. It's pretty much new 100% on the mechanical side of it. So very, very cool. It's something you don't see every day. So appreciate everybody watching. We'll catch you next time. Oh shit! You gotta poke a hole in it. Okay. There you go, Randy. Give her some gas.